Hi everyone, finally got round to doing the end of summer video, although we're well into autumn. So some of the plants are looking past their best, but the palm trees are still growing and it's well overdue, this update. So just so you can see how it's going, the fire pit area, as you can see, has really sort of taken off. It was looking great about a month ago, everything was in flower and it was looking really nice. It's all still nice and green. We've actually not even had a fire yet. We have used this area to sit around, but because it's been so warm, we didn't bother. But now it's getting the evenings are pretty cool now, so we've got wood there ready to have our first one to test it out. So yeah, everything's looking really nice around here. The hammock area is looking really nice as well. Really, everything's really taken off. The only thing is one of the dogs, I don't know which one, has decided to start digging some of my plants out. So I've filled it up with big buckets so they can't get in there, just to try and train them out of doing anything in this area. Apart from that, everything's growing nice. I'll take you inside the aviary, just so you can see how that's doing. But yeah, from the outside you can see it's all very nice and green in there. I need to empty the water and clean that out. Probably do that next weekend. We have 2 lovebirds at the moment. We did have some more, but we had a bit of an accident and a couple of them escaped. But they're really actually quite tame. The green one with the orange head, his name's Pickle, he will actually eat out of your hand. The other one, she's a bit more timid, but she's getting better. She just follows him around, so she does come over to us. There's a tortoise down there. But yeah, it's really sort of taken off in here. I'm trying to get these passion flowers, they're full of buds. Trying to get these to wrap around these branches. Some cannas in there. Just a thing that we've learned is that this umbrella tree was looking really nice, and then the birds, they just nibble every leaf that goes out from the top. So if you see the bottom's nice and green, and then they've just destroyed the top. So don't expect things to look really nice in an aviary. But yeah, they seem very happy. They're singing most of the day. It's nice because we can enjoy it from the fire pit area. And we've got the hammock in there. That'll be nice next summer. This summer it's been really hot and there was no shade on the hammock. But some of the trees are growing really quickly, so they'll provide some shade over the hammock for next year. My camera skills won't be great on this one. Unfortunately, I left my stabilizer in the office and I really wanted to do the video this weekend. So I'll have to make do with some shaky footage. But yeah, this area is all growing very nicely. All the palms are doing really well. Pembana's been growing really quickly. Got the little seated area in there. This has been non-stop putting out these flowers. It's a Jatophora, but I'm not sure the second name of it. My Dipsis madgarensis is growing really well, really nicely. I've got a bottle palm through there as well. Unfortunately, we had some strong winds and it blew my favourite plumeria, totally snapped the top off. So I've stuck them in pots, so hopefully we get some other trees from that next year, see if they do well. One of the palms that I'm really impressed with this year is this Pinanga Cully. It's just gone in this spring and it's growing really quick. It was really small. It's put out maybe 3 or 4 new leaves in its first summer. So yeah, and they're red leaves when they come out, so that's really nice. This Heliconia is growing well, but not flowered yet. And yeah, everything at the front's really doing nicely. Not really any casualties. I did have one in the side garden. We had the red palm weevil got to one of the palms. Only a small palm as well. I was really surprised, but literally one day it was looking really nice, and I was thinking how well it looked. And the next day it fell over. They'd just completely eaten the inside, and it just fell over. So I'm going to be more on top of spraying all the palms next year to make sure it doesn't happen again. But yeah, everything's looking really nice. My two Bismarckias that both had crown rot and literally had no fronds coming out, they're doing nicely now. Quite surprising, because sometimes, well, most of the time when that happens, the palms just are gone, and they both came back. We had two beautiful mangoes this year, fully sized, and they were really, really nice, so hopefully a few more next year. And a papaya tree, just never ending, putting out lots of fruit. And I've also put some new trees in around the garden. This is a brachycheton, begins with A, I'm not sure, but it has red flowers on. It looks a really nice tree when it's older. I think I've put 3 of those in, so looking forward to seeing those flower in the future. My favourite palm at the moment is my triple foxtail at the front. It just looks really healthy. It's got a really thick crown on it. This one's the biggest. And this just looks like the ones you see in the photos in South Florida. It just looks like it's doing really well. I mean, this front one was a seedling when it was put in, and I think it's been in the ground 2.5 years, 3 years at a maximum. My Jubea chilensis, this one, I think what's happened is, because these two are very green, I think this was planted where I first started mixing cement for some of the jobs that I was doing, so the ground's not very good and it's really suffering there. But I'll just leave it and see how it does. If it dies, it dies. If it survives, great. Livistonia, I think it's Australis, this one. It's growing really nicely. My Dipsus, my Recca palm's looking good. It is a shame we never have this fountain on for a few reasons really, and I've been doing some designing lately, and possibly in the future this might turn into a koi pond. I think would be a really good idea. Take away the grass, unfortunately, and just plant it up quite heavily to give the koi pond lots of shade and a nice, still have like a pathway through, but that's one of my ideas, but again that will be in a couple of years. I need to get the pool finished first. My triangle palm is starting to look a bit better. I think it was getting too much water and it was looking very yellow. It's still not great, but it's a lot greener than it was. I've turned down the irrigation on it, and yeah, it's just starting to look a lot better. The Delanox Regia's really taken off nicely this year. They're starting to thin out now after the wind we've had, but they provided lots of shade over the grass this year. And obviously every year I'm just keeping my fingers crossed we get some flowers. Even if we don't get flowers, they're still very nice trees, great for the shade as well. So, but everything in here is starting to take off. That wall was built in springtime, so there was nothing there really, and all the plants are taking well. My red Latana palms do nicely too. And now we've got lots of lots of flowers on the silk floss tree. Well, on one of them, the other one's a bit more delayed, but it'll have them as well. Got a couple of Bismarcks in there. But in general, it's been a really good year. I've got lots of jobs done during lockdown and lots of planting done, and looking forward to next spring. Not too much planting next year, but definitely around the putting green, and I want to get some steps down here and this side and finish this area off a little bit and make more use of the tees, so where the tees are for the golf green, finish off around those nicely so we don't get all the weeds coming through all the time. And hopefully the pool, get some work done on the pool finally, because the kids will love that. We'll love that, and we'll get a lot of visitors next year if we've got the pool done, I'm sure. But yeah, everything's starting to look more established as well, which is great. And over the years, yeah, just continue to grow. Hopefully, it just needs a lot of care and looking after, and a lot of water as well in summer. That's one thing I do want to do next year. I want to look into getting a water deposit, because we can have access to cheap water here, but you need a deposit to store it. So get a big deposit done and then hook up all my irrigation to a pump that's fed from there, which will also get topped up by any rain that we have. All this concrete area has drains in that go to the same place, ready to be put into a deposit. So that's what I was hoping to do. But yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll get a few projects going over autumn and winter, and ready for next spring. Thanks everyone, have a nice weekend.